What's up, everybody? All right, I zoomed in a little bit on me. Okay, let me. I was gonna share it, but it's fine. I'll do that later. Hope everybody's having a great night tonight. I know it's gonna take a second for people to pop on. If you do, and when you do, if you're watching this in the replay, because uh, the majority of you will see this from the replay, please comment. Let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know where you're watching from. If you caught this live or in the replay, love to interact with you guys. I always respond to every single comment in every live, even if it's 100 comments. I respond to each one because yeah, it's important to me. It's important to me to reciprocate the engagement. And what's up, Cindy? All right. I see some people on. Billy, live from Bama. Welcome, Billy. Hey, Cindy. I do have to scroll. What's up, Frank? I got to scroll down to see the comments. So I'll try to keep that live where I can see. If I do see the comments, I'm doing this on my computer. So sometimes the comments pop up and I see them, but I've gone and looked at the comments after when I do Facebook Lives from my computer. And a lot of times I won't see. What's up, Tiffany? I won't see a lot of the comments until I look at it after, and for some reason they don't show up. So it may only show certain comments. So if I don't respond, if I don't, give you a shout out or something, don't feel as if that was intentional. I just probably didn't see your comment. So uh, I appreciate you guys hopping on tonight, and I won't try to make this too long-winded, but I want to share some things. This is important because I see a lot going on right now. Of course, a lot of this, what I'm going to talk about, transpired a couple years ago, but I see a lot of people moving and shaking, a lot of people, um, you know, confused, a lot of people being lied to and misled, or not even being lied to or misled right now, but they're subconsciously afraid of taking a look at what we're doing or what people I'm partnered with are doing because of lies that they were told 2 years ago when I transitioned. And I'm going to go into all that, but let me just real quickly, for those who don't know my story, I'm just going to share that very briefly, just to kind of preface what we're going to talk about, because it'll make a lot more sense for those who may not know what's going on. So my wife and I, we live in Southwest Louisiana, a small town called Carlos, right outside of Lake Charles. Been in the profession of entrepreneurship, network marketing for just over 10 years. But my background's actually in the military, so military and law enforcement. So I was in the Army. In fact, a friend of mine who I served in Iraq with, we served in Baghdad in 2004, 2005 together. He reached out to me in 2012, 7 years after we served, and introduced me to this profession. At the time, I was working for the Louisiana State Police. I was in law enforcement for 11 years. I was working as a state trooper. Never saw my kids, worked all the time. I ended up being a SWAT operator for the state police. So I was either working, getting called out, training. I also taught the defensive tactics. So I'd have to go to Baton Rouge quite often to teach that. Long story short, I was always gone. I wasn't a present father, nor was I providing for my family like I wanted to in that profession. My son has autism. My youngest, Jax. Now I have two step boys that are younger than Jax, but you know, Jax has high functioning autism, and it was very important for me to be a present father, to be able to have the means to provide for him whatever he needed. And it was pretty crazy how it all transpired. Um, in less than 2 years after getting involved in network marketing, I was able to walk away from my job. I fired my boss in June of 2014. It was actually June 5th of 2014, which was my oldest daughter's eighth birthday. She's now 16, so you guys pray for me. But it was pretty wild because my son, when he was diagnosed with autism at a doctor's office in Houston, Texas, the doctor said, "Look, Jax he's high functioning. If you can be home with him and work with him consistently, by the time he's in first grade, second grade, he said he could probably attend regular class with regular students." Um, and that was 3 days after I quit my job that he told me I should be home with my son. So God put this into my life, or introduced this into my life 2 years prior to that doctor's appointment, and I had no idea that that was even going to be the case. So, it's definitely been a blessing, and it's even motivated me more to share that message and share that story, because there's a lot of parents, there's a lot of people who may not want to just be trapped in the rat race their entire life, working 40 hours a week for 40 years just to retire on 40% of what they could barely live off of in the first place. And there are better ways, and there's things like this that you can do part-time and build that revenue stream up to where you may have options one day. I didn't get into this necessarily to quit my job. I just realized after being exposed to it that it could provide a lifestyle that I was looking for. I, of course, knew people that made a lot of money, but none of them had any time freedom. I knew people that had a lot of time to do the things that they wanted to do, but most of them were broke. I didn't have any time or any money, 10 years ago when I looked at becoming an entrepreneur, scaling, building a business, network marketing, social retail, whatever you want to call it. The idea of building an organization, building a business that could pay me residually, became much more. I became much more aware of the possibilities and the lifestyle that it could bring after being exposed to um, the the leaders in that space who had both time and money. So it was so attractive to me to see people that had money, but they also had the time to enjoy it. So I became obsessed with the idea of living free. In fact, I have a brand. That's my whole philosophy. I mean, it's just that's what it's my mantra is live free, because I've been on one extreme side of that coin to where it's just taking orders. Yes, sir. Whatever you say, sir, do this because I told you to do it. That whole life, I lived that life for many years. And then over 8 years ago, when I quit my job at the state police, I've never answered to another human being since. I wake up every day when I'm tired of sleeping, go to sleep when I'm tired of being awake. I go where I want, when I want, with who I want to go with, and for however long I want to go for, and don't have to ask another human being for permission to do that. So I'm extremely passionate about it, and I've lived my life in that way for over 8 years now. So, so, with all that being said, and that's going to play an important part in this story, what I'm going to share with you, because that's where my passion is. I don't do this because it's not about the money for me primarily. It's about the freedom, and I fought for freedom. I've had friends that have died for freedom. We lost 35 guys in my unit that year I was in Baghdad. So I'm very I feel like I do have, some degree of authority to speak on freedom, because I've fought for it and I served. My passion is to serve. So understand the intrinsic motivator for me has always been to serve. It's always been about making a difference, making a positive impact on other people, and being a force for good in this world. And when I saw the business, originally, the first business I was in, Team National, which was in, um, was what I started in 2012. I was with that company for 8 years, and I'm going to go into my transition to where I am now in just a short minute. But when I got into that world, and just to be completely transparent, in the beginning, I saw the compensation plan. I saw the kind of money that could be earned. My goals were very self-serving. I like nice things. I'm a car guy. I was like, wow, you can make that kind of money. It opened up my dreamer. I got fired up, got started. But as I grew as a person and as a leader, my goals became uh, much more about others than myself. I saw a way to expand my territory. I saw a different capacity in which I can serve and make a positive difference in the world. And I wanted to expand my territory, and I wanted to reach a lot of people. And I feel that I am on my way to doing that. I've been doing that now 10 years. I've had the pleasure to speak on stages around the country, and to thousands and thousands of people. And it's probably how a lot of you guys were introduced to me and in that company. And let me before I even go on, I am grateful for that opportunity. I'm grateful for the leaders that I met in that company. I don't regret that experience in any way. Um, Now, how it unfolded when I transitioned was unfortunate, and things happen, and I'll go into a little bit about that. But as far as the leadership, the personal development, the people that I met, the growth that took place, it was life changing for me, and I'm so grateful for it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So I want to start on a positive note, and just let you guys know that I'm grateful for having, been introduced to that company. And I'm grateful for that company and the leaders that were in that company, because a lot of them impacted my life in a very positive way. So, what's up, Cindy? Yeah, live free. Thank you. Hey, Stephanie, here live. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, good. Um, so long story short, I moved very quickly in that company. Like I said, I quit my job in 2014. I rose to the top ranks of that company and had a lot of success. Now, I did have some personal life happen to me. Some life happened to me in my personal life. I went through a divorce in 2019. Um, you know, it just that's just part of life. It happened, and it's unfortunate that it happened to an extent, but I'm grateful from where I'm at today. And had that not happened, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So, I don't live in a frame of regret, or that's not, I don't let my mind go there. I just look at my life today, and I'm very thankful and grateful for who I'm surrounded with. I'm grateful for my wife, Aaliyah. I'm grateful for my two stepsons, and I'm grateful for everything in my life. I'm more grateful than I've ever been in my 40 years of existence on this planet today. I've never lived with more of a sense of gratitude than I have right now in this present moment. So understand that I've gone through, you know, I've gone through a lot in my life. I've gone through trauma. I've gone through war. I've been to war. I've lost friends. I've gone through divorce. I've gone through some shit. I've been through some rough shit in my life. I mean, we're just going to be honest here. I've been in, and forgive my language. I'm just going to be authentic with you guys tonight. I'm not going to be dropping F bombs all night or anything like that. But my whole point, a lot of the point in this is going to be talking about fake people. And so I'm not going to pretend to be somebody I'm not in front of you. While that'd be pretty hypocritical to act, you know, one way and then be someone different when I'm not on camera. So I'm just gonna be very, very, very genuine and very authentic and transparent with you guys tonight. And I hope that you guys can appreciate that. So, long story short, when I left that company, so I left Team National. My income, I was earning, multiple six figures in that company. It began to drop as the company trended downward. And my income was paralleling with the income disclosures of the company. It was all happening along with my divorce, along with personal life issues. And quite frankly, I was making about $100,000 a year, living still at a $250,000 a year lifestyle, or maybe more. And backed myself in a corner. I backed myself in a corner. Um, I looked at my entire organization, which was thousands of people, and I could count on one hand how many of those people were having any success. So no one was winning, and I had a couple options, and these were my options. I could go get a job and stay in Team National and go get a job somewhere, like a lot of the other top leaders were doing. They had businesses and things that they could fall back on for income. I didn't. That was my primary source of income for several years. I quit my job. I already left the state police in 2014. This was 2020. I was already gone 5 years. If I would have went back to the state police, back to the, um, not only would I have taken a major pay decree. I couldn't have lived on a state police income anyway, but I would have had to start completely over. I would have had to go back to the academy. I would have had to start over completely, and it just wasn't an option for me. I could have went and gotten a different job selling cars or doing something, but I didn't want to be, a network marketing reject with a job and go back to a life that I knew was different from the life that I deserved and knew I could have through this space you know so I did that was just wasn't an option for me. So I said, what are my options? And obviously, like I mentioned earlier, the company was trending downward. It ended up going out of business, roughly a year after I left the company. But regardless of all that, I'm fired up. So I'm sorry if I get a little passionate tonight. Just excuse my um you know emotion or passion. It's just I'm charged up a little bit about this, because here's what I see right now. So let me finish the story. I left So I left Team National. I came to the company that I'm in now. If you want to know what it is, message me and I'll share it with you. But that's not what this is about. This is not me trying to get anyone to see what I'm doing or look at what I'm doing. That's not the point of this. The point of this is there's so many. Okay. I was about to file bankruptcy when I left Team National to come to the company that I'm in now. I called the top leaders of that company, was emotional, was crying. I called my team at the time. I did a big call, had, hundreds of people on the call. Guys, I'm leaving the company. I'm going in a different direction. I didn't say where I was going. I brought my leader in Team National on the line, handed it over to him, said, guys, you're in great hands. This is a great company. I never wanted to steal the dreams of anybody on my team. I didn't start calling my team saying, hey, follow me over here. Didn't do anything like that. Anyone on my team could vouch for me in that regard. I did everything with the utmost integrity and as ethically as I knew how. And I do believe that's why God honored that transition. And I believe that's why I had the success that I had, because I didn't try to be sneaky. I didn't try to infiltrate people's teams and get people to follow me. Now, I can't say what other people in my organization did or other people that joined me did. I have no control over that. All I know is me personally did everything with ethics and integrity. If someone wanted information, they asked me for it and I shared it with them. If I talked to someone, I said, "Are you still building? Are you in Team National? Are you building Team National?" They said, "Yes." Awesome. It's a great company. Keep doing what you're doing. Didn't mention a thing. Didn't say, "Well, if you want to know what I'm doing, I'll share it." I didn't do that. And you can find anybody, send me a screenshot of a message that I tried to cross recruit anybody into National when I left. You show me the message, and I would love to see it, because it did not happen. It did not happen. So I made the transition. My income went from here to here as soon as I left. I had great success. We get paid daily here, so I started. I mean, it changed. I went from zero to hero overnight, and it changed my life. It saved my. I mean, I was struggling. When I tell you I was filing bankruptcy, I was crying at night. And I'm not a crier. I don't cry. But I was so emotional about just where I was financially. I had just gotten married in January 2020. This was August of 2020. I was embarrassed. I was depressed. I was fighting anxiety, and I was just embarrassed. I was ashamed. I just like, I'm letting my family down. I'm letting my team down. I'm letting everyone down. And I was just in a really dark and ugly place in life. So I prayed about it. I really thought on what to do. And I'm one who acts on intuition. So my wife and I were in Houston, Texas. She was having surgery, and I'm driving. I'm sitting in the waiting room, and I'm just thinking. I'm thinking, like, God, what do I do? Like, what do I do here? I have to do something. And I followed a man by the name of John Melton on Facebook. I followed him. I've been following him for a long time. Loved his energy. I knew he was a network marketing coach and who I related to and followed. But I also knew he was still building in the field. I knew he was part of a company. I knew he was still in the game. So I messaged him privately. I said, John, I said, look, man, I don't even know what company you're in. I would love to know. This is where I'm at. This is what I've done. This is who I am. This is where I'm at. He said, man, you have time to hop on a call? I said, yeah, I'll be driving for the next 2 hours. Let's do it. Hop on a call with John Melton. He shares his kind of his story with me, and he tells me where he's at. He tells me, what he's making at the time. And this isn't an income claim, or any results that I talk about that I have or he has is not average or typical. I'm not making income claims or anything like that. But the guy, he was earning multiple six figures a month. Okay. And that piqued my interest, because he was only there about 5 years at the time and was already earning multiple six figures a month. And but that's not even why I transitioned. What the biggest impact that call had on me was the fact that he asked me, he said, Justin, how many people on your team are winning? And man, it was like a punch in the gut. I mean, I'm thinking of my organization. I'm just thinking of the leaders. I'm like, well, this person's winning. This person's winning. And that's it. That was it. Okay. So, and when I say winning, I mean, they weren't winning like I was winning, but they were having, they were profitable. Okay. So, and I had thousands of people on my team. So I'm like, nobody's winning roughly. And he's like, well, look, man, he's like, Here's the systems that we have in place. We don't do three-way calls. We don't do presentations. We're not doing Zooms every night. We don't travel. We have true systems in place that scale and that are duplicatable and that could build a true residual income, and people on our team are winning. And you don't have to build a team to win. So it's not all about recruiters recruiting recruiters to recruit more recruiters. It's about customer acquisition. It's a customer centric model based on the end consumer, not just recruiters. Because if it's just the people who are recruiting who are using the products, it's a self consumption model that will eventually, as we see, dry up. It can't sustain itself. So that was very intriguing to me because you had the option to build and scale or focus on customer acquisition or both. The compensation plan was dual sided. Each side paid independently, and it even has its own ranking system on each side. So your levels of recognition, rank, and all that was dual sided. So I thought that was really cool. Long story short, I said, look, John, I said, give me to the end of the year, man. I said, give me to the end of the year. This is too hard of a decision. I can't make it overnight. I said, I got a lot of people who depend on me, who look up to me, and I just don't know what to do. It was hard, man. It was the hardest, one of the hardest decisions I've ever made in my life. It had nothing to do with me not being loyal to Team National. It had nothing to do with me wanting to lead Team National or hurt any leaders or not make these leaders any more money or anything like that. It was very hard. So I called the CEO of the company. I get emotional on the phone. I'm crying. I'm like, look, I love you guys. I love this company. I'm grateful for everything that you did for me. I'm crying. I said, I have to make this hard decision. I have to pivot. I have to transition. Otherwise, I'm going to go bankrupt and I'm going to lose everything I have and I'm going to have to go get a job. She said, hey, look, I understand. She said, I understand. And she said, what company are you going to? I told her. She said, very, very, she said, I am surprised you're going to that company because it's a lot of women in that company. She said, but it's a great company. She said, I actually know the CEO, Asma Ishak. And she said, basically said she's world class, and she is. Um, and and I made that transition. I called the leaders, the top leaders who I was working with, told them, got emotional. Every call I got emotional when I was telling people I was leaving. It was so hard for me to make this decision. So I transitioned over. We've had great success. My first year here in this company, we had more rank advancements in 1 year on our team than I had in 8 years combined in T National combined. And since then, we've had, because I've been here, and we dwarfed that the second year. And so it's blown my mind the success that we've had with the amount of people on the team and the way that it's duplicated and the amount of people. The environment is very conducive to growth for the average person, which is extremely important to me because not everybody who comes into a business like this has a tremendous amount of influence and credibility. They can't just make a call and they have they have to build a business legitimately, and it's set up for the average person to win. And that was huge for me because the worst possible thing as a leader is to see your organization, all these people that believe in you and you that are buying into this dream, and they can't get the ball rolling. They don't have any chance for success. And that's what I experienced in my previous company. I would share my story and share this success and share this experience, but nobody else was duplicating that. No one else was winning. And it became an integrity issue at that point. I mean, how long can you do that to where, went and feel good about you sharing this story? And then it got to the point where I wasn't even, living up to that level. So I definitely couldn't go and share on stage and be this person who I wasn't. It's inauthentic, and it's just not who I am. So after I left, all the leaders, when I talked to them, were very respectful. And they're like, hey, look, you got to do what you got to do. You got to, put your family first. You got to move on. We understand. And we get it. But once I left, I don't know if it's because I started having success, because evidently if anybody leaves that company, they will never have success anywhere else. No one's, and I'm being sarcastic, but this is what these leaders would say. They say, no one's ever left this company and ever had success anywhere else. This is the end all be all. If you can't succeed here, you'll never succeed anywhere else. And I left and did have success. And it was apparent that I had success, and it was apparent that our team was winning. So I instantly became vilified. I instantly became a bad person. They'd use things like my personal life and the things that I went through, my divorce, and like, oh, well, this dude, and I don't even know what all they said about me, but I just know that people were blocking me on Facebook. People were like, oh, Justin Weeks, don't, no, I don't know what he's doing. And then the company went out of business. So people were like, that's interesting. That's it. And not only was it a red flag when I left, and it was a red flag when corporate leaders were leaving, but the leaders, and I know why they did it, and I understand, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not upset with them. I'm really not upset with them, because I know it was out of fear. It was out of worry that these people were going to leave their organization and go to something different, because they knew no one on their team was making money anyway. And half them weren't even making any money anymore. So they were trying to protect what they had. They were trying to protect their paycheck. And people that called me family and told me that they love me, people that I stayed at their house, spent the night at their house, traveled the world with these people. Immediately, from when I changed direction in business, I immediately went from this good person to the worst person on the planet, like that. You realize these people didn't love me. They loved what I could do for them, which was it was disheartening, and it was hurtful. I mean, it was hurtful. I mean, it really was. But regardless, here's what, let me fast forward today. I've been speaking 30 minutes on the past. Let me fast forward to today. This is what I see. I see people scattering. So when ACN absorbed Team National, or I don't know if they bought them out, absorbed, I don't know the details. I'm not going to act like I do and speak on something I'm uneducated about, because I don't do that. Team National was no more, and they became ACN. ACN's been around a long time. In fact, John Melton, my mentor here, where I'm at now, was in that company and had almost the exact same experience. Was in that company for 7 years. It was old school, traveling, presentations, three-way calls, all the old stuff that nobody wants to do. And he left. He transitioned and was vilified and hated. And it's very interesting that I left Team National, he left ACN, and now we're together in those two companies combined. So interesting, God wink, maybe. I don't know. You can call it whatever you want. ACN absorbed Team National. All the leaders were brought into that company. They said, this is the best thing on earth. It's true residual income. You can build it. You can build it. Well, now nobody's making money. No one's making money over there either. So they're all going to all these different places. Now people are going to this company and going to that company. And here's the thing. When I left 2 years ago, I didn't bring a team over here with me. We've had success right out the gate. We've continued to have great success. But because subconsciously these leaders vilified me and made me out to be this bad guy, no one's even thinking about, hey, maybe we should consider what these guys are doing, because they're winning. They're winning with a company that's relevant, innovative. It's a health and wellness company that gives people true results. They make fun of it. I see them in their posts. They think I don't see it. They're like, oh, the pudding, the weight loss pudding, all this stuff. It's not pudding. First of all, and I'm not gonna get into anything. I've yet to see one of them make fun of anything I'm doing within my reach, or man to man, or where we can have a person to person conversation. They do it on social media in other states and other places, but that's besides the point. They make fun and they try to tear. I've never once, ever since I left Team National, ever made fun of the company, made fun of other leaders, made fun of what any of my team may have went and done and done different things. I wish them the best. I support them. I say, good luck. I hope you succeed. You know why? Because hate comes from the bottom only. It never comes from the top. Hate always comes from below, never from above. I've yet to meet a successful hater in my entire life. They do it out of it's the only reason someone hates on someone is out of insecurity and jealousy. Otherwise, why entertain it? Why talk down about someone unless you're trying to make yourself look bigger? It's bullying. It's locker room tactics, high school shit. And I wasn't having it. I made a couple posts to defend myself, but then I was like, whatever, who cares? I don't need any of these people. I didn't need these people when I built it the first time, and I don't need them to build it another time. And we've been just fine without them. But here's the problem. These lies and the things that they did to try to protect their organizations have now carried on to where people bought into it and they believed it. And I'm just telling you, you can ask any person, and I'm not here to try to defend myself. I don't need to defend myself. But I'm just telling you, people should form their own opinion. regardless of my personal life. Okay, I went through a divorce. I'm a human being. I went through a divorce. My personal life, we all do things in life. We make, we have things happen and we grow from them, and we move on. I had things happen in my life. I grew from those things, and we've moved on. It has nothing to do with business. In business, I built a business, and I built it to a very substantial income, and I grew I built a great organization, and I grew as a leader in that process. I'm not saying I was perfect throughout that process, because I wasn't. I was growing. I was in my 30s. I started I started when I was 30, and now I'm 40. It's been 10 years. A lot of growth happens in a man's life between the ages of 30 and 40. I would be willing to say I'm a completely different human being today than I even was 2 years ago. Okay, uh, so a lot of growth happened in that process. But I worked alongside these leaders. I built alongside these leaders. These leaders know who I am. They know I've served my country. They know I've served my community. They know I'm loyal to the core. If I wasn't filing bankruptcy, if I wasn't having my back against the wall, I would have never got on the phone and bawled for 30 minutes and crying because I had to leave. It was the hardest thing I ever did. It wasn't because I'm a bad person. It wasn't because I was trying to hurt anyone. It was simply because out of necessity. It was for survival. It was a survival move for me. I had to jump off the sinking ship to survive and get on a different ship. So, but here's the thing: the people around me in my circle today know who I am, and what I would just encourage you leaders to do. And this is, I'm really reaching out to the leaders who are out there getting jobs, who aren't making any money anymore, but know that they're good leaders, and they know that they have the ability to build a business and make an impact in people's lives and live free. You have the ability. You know who you are. You know who you are. If you're going back to work, if you're not making the money you used to make, you know who you are. Guys, I'm telling you, I've been on this ship for 2 years. I planted my flag in August of 2020. We built a phenomenal foundation. The company is solid, world class, in 20 plus countries, very relevant, very innovative, and get people real results. But the company is ethical, and they do things with integrity. They've been around a very long time. They rebranded 8 years ago, but we're doing big things. I mean, the who's who in this industry are here. I mean, the who's who of this profession are here, and there's a reason why. It's because we're doing it right. And I'll say all that to say this. You don't have to take my word for it. Find some leaders who top leaders from that previous company who are partnered with me now. I mentioned some of them in my post today. Reach out to them. Say, look, how is Justin as a leader? How does he follow through with what he says he's going to do? Does he answer the phone when you call? Does he have your back? Does he lead by example? Has he done the work? Does he gone out and before anyone on my team? No one. I've never asked anyone ever to do something that I have not done myself. I've walked through the minefield many times, my friends, and there's plenty of foot tracks. We can come back and forth and go through that minefield. I'm telling you, I know how to do it. I know how to build it. I've done it twice. I'm a servant leader, and my heart is in the right place. And I'm telling you all that to say this: find out the truth before you're misled. I see people going to, I see it, and I don't care if you join me or not. It doesn't matter, but at least know the truth. At least know where you're being misled, because there's not a better opportunity. There is not a better opportunity. I'm telling you, there's not. There's not. And I will debate anyone. I'd be willing to play. Well, I'll debate anybody one on one. We don't have to do it publicly, but we can pull up. We can jump on Zoom one on one. We can pull up the back offices. We can do everything. We can do it all, because I'm telling you, there's nothing out there that competes. Nothing. There's nothing out there that competes with what we're doing right now. I promise you. And I care about my friends. I don't care if you were one of the ones bashing me, talking shit about me, throwing me through the mud. I get it. You were trying to protect what you had. It's over. I forgive you. It's in the past. But I'm telling you, there are leaders out there who are who are lost right now. They're lost. And you need to know the truth. And I'm not afraid to stand up here on social media and tell you the truth. I'm not afraid to have a debate. I'm not afraid to lay it all out on the line. I mean, probably there's several people that won't see this because they still have me blocked. But guys, I'm telling you, the direction we're in, where we're headed, you want to be there. Where we're at right now, you probably want to be because you're not there anymore. Because I know and I can see what's happened. So get with somebody who's connected with me. Get with someone in my inner circle and find out the truth. Ask them anything you want. Ask me anything you want. You know, I'm as transparent as they come, guys. You know, anyone who knows me, anyone who knows me even a little bit, and it's been to my detriment at times, but they do know this: what you see is what you get. You know, what you see is what you get. I wear my heart on my sleeve. Um, I'm very open about who I am. I'm very open about mistakes I've made. I'm very open about the growth. I don't mind people seeing me grow. I don't mind people watching me make mistakes. I don't mind people seeing me elevate in life because the truth to me is good enough. The truth about where I am is good enough. We don't exaggerate incomes. We don't make any kind of claims that aren't true. We just are who we are because the truth is good enough. I will pull up more rank advance. I could post. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do it tonight because I'm gonna go spend time with my family after this. But I could pull up hundreds and hundreds of rank advancement pictures just since we've been here since August of 2020. Literally hundreds of rank advancement pictures of people on our team, not just in the company. I'm talking about on our team. Hundreds because we're winning. We're winning. And there's people out there that deserve to win. You're winners. So have enough mental fortitude, have enough courage, have enough wherewithal to find out the truth before you make a horrible mistake, before you just follow people blindly to all these places just because they may have had success in this previous company don't mean they know what the hell they're talking about. They don't mean they know it. They know everything. Just because they may have been a leader or had a big team in a previous organization doesn't mean anything. Talk to them about who they are. Show me what you're doing right now. Show me the results. There's the proof. Numbers do not lie. The proof is in the results only. Let me shut up and respond to some comments because I'm on a rant, man. I'll go all damn night. I'm fired up. What's up, Jacob? There's never a reason to apologize for bettering yourself. Business is business. Do you? I appreciate that, man, and I agree with you. Nicolini, what's up, brother? That's right, Frank. Winning. Frank and Laura Regalbuto, phenomenal. If you have a question, reach out to Frank and Laura Regalbuto. Ask them about me. Ask them about their team. Ask them how they're winning. Ask Cindy Green. I see Cindy and Brett Green on here. A lot of you may know who they were. They were platinums in Team National. Ask them if they're winning. Ask them about my leadership. I'm looking at a lot of comments, a lot of stuff coming through. What's up, Smileys? Appreciate you guys. What's up, little brother? My little brother Jonathan's on here. Look, guys, it is what it is. Share this with somebody who's over there. Share this with someone who may be lost. Ask them. Let's sit down. Let's put the bullshit behind us, guys. Like for real. Put the locker room gossip, the drama. Save the drama for your mama. I don't need it. I don't want it. I don't care about it. Who cares? Let's talk numbers. Let's talk business. Let's talk life. Who do you know? Who else do you know that hasn't had a job in over 8.5 years? Tell me one of the leaders in that company. Maybe I can count on one hand, maybe, who hasn't gone back to work, who doesn't have another business. Whether that's, I'm not going to name the businesses because I don't want anyone thinking I'm talking negatively about them because they're good people. They are. They're good people. These guys are solid leaders and they're being forced because here's why. Because they were treated, that business was treated like a cult. I'm just going to call it like it is, was treated like a cult. If you left, they vilified you. They ran your name through the dirt out of fear. They said, you can't come back if you leave. And and then they'd have a conference call. If you left, they'd have a conference call with that. You'd say, oh, you know, this is why he left. They'll give reasons. Oh, this is his personal life. He's this and that. And, no one's ever left here and had success. You're in the right place at the right. Don't leave or we're going to bash you just like we're bashing him. They made Facebook posts about me. People were blocking me. It was horrible. It was horrible. Nobody deserves that for pivoting in business, for making a transition professionally. No one deserves that. But listen, it's gone. That business is gone. Everyone's now doing their own thing. People are going here, people are going there. I see it. It is what it is. So now it's time for us all, the good ones, the good ones. And I'm not saying you're not a good one just because you talked negatively about me. I get it. It's fine. But listen to me. There are leaders out there who need to hear what I'm saying. And I'm not afraid to stand up and say it. I'll say it to your face. I'll say it. I'll stand up on a hilltop and scream it. I'm telling you right now, you deserve to win. Winners win. All of us winners need to come together in a place that it's been proven to be effective, a place that has solid success and a foundation for growth for the average person, with systems in place that duplicate and scale and create residual and passive income. And we're here. We're here. If you don't want to take my word for it, ask the people in my organization. Ask people that are connected with me that you know and who have credibility with you already. Find out the truth. Before you make a decision to do anything else, find out the truth, because I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you with every ounce of my soul, we're winning here, and it's the truth. And I don't want to see any more people being misled. Y'all were misled to go to ACM because they said that was the next big thing. And we see where that led you, right? And now you're being told to go here, and who goes first here? Whoever goes first here, people are trying to take people and do all this shit. Guys, I'm telling you, take a step back before you make any irrational decisions. Take a step back and just say, let's look at the numbers. Let's have let's think with logic and not emotion. Show me the compensation plan. Show me the structure. Show me the products. Show me the leadership. Show me the support systems, the resources that you have for growth and development. Get the truth. Get the truth. If you really want to make a career out of entrepreneurship, you want to make a career out of building a business online or part-time or from home, get the facts. Get the facts. So I'm sorry for, no, screw that. I'm not sorry. I'm passionate about this because it means a lot to me. I'm not apologizing to anybody. I'm done apologizing. I'm done being the nice guy all the time and being all, so weak. And I'm a humble man. I really am. I'm a servant. I'm a humble servant, but guys, the truth is the truth. And sometimes leaders need to step up and tell it like it is. And that's what I'm here to do today. We were on a sinking ship. All of us were. The ship sank. The ship is sitting at the bottom of the ocean now. Y'all jumped to this ship. Y'all are jumping to that ship. Everybody's on life rafts floating out in the ocean. And I'm telling you, we're on a freaking yacht. We're on the master yacht right now. I'm telling you, we hit the mother lode. There's other leaders on here. I'm on here, and we're going to win. We're going to win if you hop on the yacht or not. I'm just telling you. You can take a look. You can come take a tour around the yacht if you want, or you can keep doing what you're doing. It makes no difference to me whatsoever. But I felt very compelled to do this today. I felt a sense of obligation to the people who I came up with in this space, to the people that I grew with and learned from, people who mentored me, people who grew alongside of me, and people that I know out there are good people and deserve to know the truth. Because I'm telling you, people watch very carefully. They did it when I left. This is what you got to do. Think about people's motives when they're telling you things. When I left, why'd they badmouth me? They had a motive. They didn't want anyone else on their team leaving. That was the motive. When they told you, hey, everybody, ACN, let's go over here to this company. It's the best thing in the world. Y'all come follow us. Why? Why do you think? They had a motive. They wanted those organizations to follow them so they could make money. I don't care if you follow me or not. There's no motive here. There's no agenda. I just want you to know the truth. Plain and simple. It does not matter to me one bit because we're already winning. guys. And we have been, and we're going to continue to win. I'm sorry for coming across. I keep apologizing. I'm a nice guy. I want to apologize. I can't help it. I do apologize if my passion came across offensive, because I do not intend to offend anyone. I'm not sorry for what I said, because I mean it. It's genuine. It's from the heart. Like I said, I am who I am. I love you guys. Look, let me just calm down for a second and just listen to me. I love my life. I love my family. I love God. I love this country. And I'm fired up about the future. I've never had more clarity of vision than I have right now. I've never been surrounded by better people than I am right now. Better leaders, um, just good people who have real results that I'm going after. These people aren't up there talking about, they don't have, like, they're not faking it. These people are the real deal. I mean, I don't know what else to say except please take the time to look around and make good decisions here and really educate yourselves on what's happening, because I'm telling you, the future's bright for those who make the right decision. And I'm telling you guys, I'm going to grab my flag and we're going to continue up this mountain, and we will go to the top of this mountain. And the ones who are with us, Larry McDonald, I'm going to quote Larry McDonald right here. This is what he said. And he was one of the best mentors I've ever had. He said, you grab your flag and you go to the top of the mountain. He said, when you get there, the ones that are with you are the ones that are supposed to be with you. So I have no concern who's coming with me or who's not, but the ones who do, I will fight for you like you've never been fought for before. And I am a fighter. I'm a warrior. I've been to war, and I'm not afraid to go back. I will fight along every single one of you. I will answer your calls when you need me. I will be there. I will do anything it takes to help you succeed. I promise you. I want winners to win, and you guys are winners. Some of you are winners, and some of you haven't figured out how to win yet. But you're not a loser. And you know how I know you're not a loser? It's because you're God's highest form of creation. You're a human freaking being, and you're capable of anything and everything that you want in this life. But what you do and the choices that you make can make or break you. One simple decision, like the hard decision I had to make 2 years ago, could have made me, or it could have broke me. And I'm still standing here today, 2.5 years later, or just over 2 years later, still standing, still job free, still living free, with a big team who's winning, to tell you that I got your back. If you're willing to run, I will run as far and as fast as any one of you want to go, and we'll continue on this journey. And we'll continue with you or without you. But we're going to win. So with that, I'm out of here. I'll review the comments after. I'm sorry if I missed you. But look, I love you guys. I ain't mad at anyone. I just want you guys to know the truth. And that's what I gave you tonight. So this will not be a common thing for me. When I usually talk on Facebook Lives, I'm usually very calm, collected, and I'm doing my best to add value and share my experiences with the world and hopes to better someone's life. And that's the same thing I'm doing tonight, just with a little more vigor and passion, because of what's happening out there, and I see it, and it's necessary. And I'm not afraid to fight for you, and I'm not afraid to fight for my team, and I'm not afraid to fight for my family. I'm not afraid to fight for this country. I'm not afraid to fight for myself. So just know that's who I am, and that's all I got. So we'll talk to you guys later.